Hi, this is RockinRobin, and today I'm looking at 25 easy items to find at the thrift stores for eBay. A lot of these can also be found at garage sales. Let's take a look. So the first item is shoes. They can be a variety of different shoes. If you want to sell shoes, go through the shoe section. This is Tevas. Sneakers are often very good as well. Something that's unique and different, and if you know the brands, keep your eyes open for certain brands. Brooks and Nikes tend to do very well, but there's a ton of shoes at thrift stores and garage sales, so you should have no problem finding them. Next is t-shirts. T-shirts do sell, depending on the shirt. Of course, all these items you have to look up. I sell a lot of sports, NFL, NHL, college, when I do t-shirts. But there's vintage t-shirts that sell, Disney t-shirts that sell, a lot of different t-shirts. You can find them so easily. Look at these are Harley and biker t-shirts. Easy to find at any thrift store, easy to find at garage sales. The next item I'm going to tell you about is another easy to find item. It would be belts. Belts are often overlooked. People think, who was with a belt? But you know what? You can find a lot of designer belts. You can find a nice, well-made belts. And there's a lot of different belts to go through at the thrift store. Easy to find. And I find a lot at garage sales, and they're usually pretty cheap. Only a couple bucks. And you know, if you find the right one, you might make 1,000. You just never know. But a couple hundred, not impossible. Now here, I was going to tell you to look for books. You know, there's a million books at the thrift store. You can scan each one and find which ones are valuable. Easy to find, easy to go through, easy to make some money. All these items are very easy for you to find at the thrift stores, at the garage sales. I'm going to say, you know, anybody who wants to start off, this is a great place to start, is books. But there are so many others. Well, how about looking for action figures and toys? There's a lot of money to be made in action figures and toys. And they don't all have to be new in box like this. And they could be Barbie dolls. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you can get these for a quarter, 50 cents at a garage sale. Maybe $1 at the thrift store. And some of them are valuable. You can find stuff in bags as well. You never know what toys, action figures, toys, things like that are going to make you some money. Next, how about mugs and glasses? I know a lot of people who make a lot of money just selling mugs and glasses. Sure, they need to be different. They need to be unique. And just like everything else, they need to be looked up. But it doesn't just have to be coffee mugs. It could be different kinds of mugs. It could be different kinds of glasses. You got to just keep looking, look for something new, look for something different, scan it, look it up on eBay, whatever you need to do. And you can make some money and find those easy. Next, we're going to say cookware. There's a lot of cookware at the thrift store. It seems like there's tons of it, and you never know what you're going to find. This one right here, I found it's a Rachel Ray, and it was $9.99, but then it was a half price sale. For $5, I got this, and you know, it's a good deal. Cookware is always something you can sell, even lids. You'd be surprised. Sometimes the lid is worth more than the whole set. So look for that if you're looking for something. And next we're going to say pins. I always see some pins. They're usually in a case in the Goodwill or certain thrift stores. And you never know what you're going to find. I found those two right there, and they were like $2 each. I get percentage off, so I didn't pay that much for them. And I put them up. You can sell pins all the time, and you can find them at the thrift store. Just keep your eyes open when you're looking in the cases. Now, next, I'm going to tell you hats, baseball caps, trucker caps. People tend not to look for these, and I don't know why. There are a lot that are worth money. Not all of them are worth money. Again, you have to scan them. You have to look them up. But there's a lot of different caps at the thrift store, and it's something they have every day. So why don't you go through them, see what you have. Easy to find item, easy to sell item. Prices range all over the place. Next, figurines and collectibles. You know how many collectibles? I found this one at a Goodwill. You just don't know. And some of them can be worth a lot. Some of them are not worth that much, but you just don't know until you go through it and you scan it. I found some for $2.99 that were hundreds, and I've done it several times. So figurines, collectibles, easy to find at the Goodwill. Just scan them, look them up. Next, we're going to say snow globes. I see snow globes all the time. And some of them are worth something, some of them are not. You need a good quality one, maybe a Disney or a SeaWorld or something that's well made. But you can make money on snow globes, and you will find them often at the thrift store. Maybe not as often as some of the other items like the clothes, but you will definitely be able to find some snow globes that are worth something. And around the holidays, they tend to have more. Now, next, we're going to say plush. These are squishmallows, but there's a lot of different kinds of plush that people look for and people will sell. If they're new at Tag, if they're Disney, they might be worth something. I look them all up. I've sold some for lots of money, and then there's others that, just sat around for a while and I sold at the flea market. But if you look them up, just like everything else, plush does sell. Next, handbags and purses and wallets. You never know what you're going to find with that. You're always looking for designer brands. Got to know your brands and you got to look them up. But some of these I have found for ridiculously low prices and sold for large amounts of money. There's always purses. There's always bags. If you know anything about that, you want to go to the thrift store and look for that. And I bet you'll find some good stuff. They always have some good stuff, even at garage sales. Okay, cameras. People don't think to look at cameras, but some of them are old, some of them are new. Some of them don't even have to work, but it's worth going there and looking and see what kind of cameras they have. Now, sometimes they may not have any, so it's hit or miss when it comes to cameras, but it's very common that you will find something there that you can resell and that you can find. So always look, and if you happen to see a camera, pick it up, see if it's worth some money. Next, we're going to say neckties. Not enough people look at neckties. Maybe people don't wear them as much, but I look for holidays. I look for like this Grinch. I look for Disney. I've sold quite a few, and I always seem to make good money on them because they never sell for a lot in the first place. And if you find the right brands, you never know. You can find a brand that's worth a lot, but people don't look at neckties, and there's a ton of them at the thrift store. Next, we're going to say shot glasses. I look for shot glasses and I try to lot them like this. But if I see shot glasses and they're old, they're vintage, or they're in a set, I will look them up and see what they're worth. Sometimes you can sell individual ones with different teams like that one right there for some decent money. So you see shot glasses at the thrift store, whether they're old, vintage, just look them up because you can find them and sometimes they can be worth something. Next item to look for is perfume and cologne. These are usually behind the counter. They usually have them back there, and you want to look up. I go and I look up every single one, whether it's the cologne, whether it's perfume. Sometimes they'll have some other things, some powders, some face creams. They always seem to have something behind the counter for perfumes, colognes area, and I look up each one, and sometimes you get very, very lucky and they sell for well. Next, paperweights. Paperweights are very common to find at the thrift store. I find quite a few, and some of them are extremely valuable. I found one this week that I got for $5 that is up for $195, and I got a bunch of watchers. Hopefully I'll get at least $150. $5 I spent. So check out all the paperweights, see what you could find, scan them just like all the others, and easy to find. Next, easy to find, holiday items. They have a whole area where they have holiday items. Go through the holiday items. See if there's something that you think you can sell. And it doesn't just have to be Christmas. You can sell Halloween. You can sell Easter. You can sell Valentine's Day. You'd be surprised the holiday items that are out there. And people sometimes just specialize in the holiday items. And there is a ton of them at the thrift stores. So if you find the right one, you will definitely make some money. Next, electronics. A lot of people do VCRs, and some VCRs can be worth a real lot of money. Now, I'm not big on electronics, but there are a lot of these at the thrift store. And if you know something about electronics, you're going to want to go through each one and see what they're worth. Speakers tend to do well, and vintage items do well. They didn't make the same kind of stuff they did as they did in the past. So it's kind of fun area to look through. And jewelry, costume jewelry. You don't have to have 14 karat gold jewelry. You can have costume jewelry. A lot of people do this. I think it's a tough category because there's so much jewelry out there. I wouldn't know where to begin. I sell some stuff, but not that much. But if you know jewelry and you're willing to go through it, there are a ton of jewelry at all the thrift stores, and you'll find them at garage sales. You'll find them everywhere. If you like jewelry, easy to go through, easy to find. Luggage. There's always different kinds of luggage at the thrift store. And you know what? Samsonite is a good brand to look for. And there are some others, Lululemon. I mean, you got to remember, you got to pack these things. So they're not always small. But there is money to be made if you go through the luggage and you find some. You just don't know what you're going to find. I found one similar to this. It wasn't even in perfect condition. It had some breaks, and I got good money for it. So look at that. Next, people don't think about it, but coffee pots. Coffee pots do sell, especially percolators, but you'd be surprised, coffee pots and all the different accessories that can go with it. And some are vintage, some are not, but they definitely will sell. And look at even just the pot like this. It's a vintage piece, but it's nice and it's available and it sells. So go through and look at the coffee pots. Next, I'm going to tell you graphic calculators. I must be the person that they're drawn to because I find graphic calculators constantly, and I always am able to sell them. And if I can't sell them for some reason, I will sell them at the flea market. But I always make money on these, and I'm always finding them for $1 here or $5 here, and they sell well. So keep your eyes open. Check them out because some don't sell. So check them out online, but you can make money in graphic calculators. Next and last is thermos. People don't think about getting thermos, but there are so many thermos bottles, and a lot of them are definitely worth money. Look them up just like everything else, but you can make money on thermos bottles, and there are tons at the garage stores. Well, those are my 25 items that I think are easy to find at garage sales or thrift stores and make some money. So you go out there and good luck.